starts there and you come out there. Okay?
So it's this one.
So you'll find that the reference that is the one reference.
So I've got to turn right here?
Yeah. Left to there, and that's where you come out. Right. It's no, it's an ordinary petrol just appeared.
Sure. Are you winning?
One of the most charismatic sports cars of the early 1960s was the big Healey. It won the Alpine Rally, it won the Liège, always consistently successful. This is an ex-works car, originally a Healey 106 with a 2.6 litre engine. It's been restored by Kevin Law from Orchard Engineering, who's helping to today. Let's just have a quick word with Kevin. Kevin, what's under the bonnet now?
3 litre engine fill with triple SUs and a Sebring camshaft.
What kind of power does it put out now?
About 185 horsepower, I should think.
185. The Healeys today are level pegging with the Cortinas. Are you surprised?
Yeah, very, very surprised. But not, I think they'll win. I think the Cortinas will win.
You've got a magnificent turnout of Healeys today. How do you think they're going to go at the end of the day?
Well, John Chatham's the one I think you've got to watch. He's got a lot more horsepower and a lot more experience than us.
It was the Triumph TR2 which caused BMC to first enter rallying. It was enormously successful in the early 1950s. It won numerous coupes in the Alpine Rally. It won outright the RAC Rally. And in 1956, BMC were left behind and started rallying the MGA and then later the Healey. This is a magnificent standard TR2 of the early 1950s, being crewed by veteran rally driver John Hotwood. Let's just have a quick word. John, what's under the bonnet of this car?
Standard engine, completely standard.
In its day, of course, they were very successful, but they were rallied in a very standard trim. What kind of power output?
About 120 brake, I think. That's about the best I can hope for at the moment.
What made them such a successful rally car?
Because they were so far ahead of the time when they were invented. There was only the MG TD at the time, and the Mini Cooper and Anglia just hadn't been invented.
The TR3 followed it with disc brakes. That must have helped a lot. Did you rally the TR in its day?
The TR4. I rallied the TR2 in very early days, but the works TR4.
But by then the TR4 was being slightly overshadowed by the Healey. What were they like to rally in their day? You had cross-blade tyres, the roads weren't as good as they are today.
They were very fast, but they, as you say, the Healey had them absolutely beaten. No problem at all. They were nowhere near as fast as the Healey, because they were losing a complete litre every time.
Very hard at the rear end. They've got a reputation for being unpredictable. Have you found that today?
Yes, definitely, yeah. The brakes particularly.
Once the Healey got its act together and started to win events, it wasn't long before Roots responded. Always successful with the Rapier, they then turned to the Sunbeam Tiger, and powered by a Ford V8 engine, the Tiger was pushing out, getting on for 300 horsepower in its day. It won outright the Alpine Rally, but was disqualified only through an homologation difficulty when it could have had more power had it been using the correct spec engine. This car has been lovingly restored by Don Pither. Don, how's it going today?
Well, it's very well. I'm enjoying it immensely, but the engine's smoking quite well. But it's got adequate power for my abilities, and it's tremendous fun.
How much power is there under the bonnet?
Well, it's probably about 240 because it's in very standard tune, but that's more than adequate for the tyres which are on the car. And as I said, for my abilities, it's ample power.
What's it like to drive? Is it a bit of a hairy handful?
Yes, it can be hairy, but it tells you what it's doing all the time, and though it's often sideways, it seems very controllable.
Tell us something about the history of this car. Wasn't this driven by Andrew Cohen?
Well, actually, only in recce work. It was driven by Peter Harper in the competition events, and it's he who won the Alpine and came fourth in the Monty.
This came fourth in the Monty and won the Alpine, did it, this actual car?
That's right, yes.
So it has quite a famous history.
Oh, indeed, yes. I don't think it's ever been stuck.
Are there many Tigers surviving?
Quite a few Tigers, but I don't know of many other rally Tigers surviving, certainly. This is about the only one I know about.
Are you going to give the Healeys a run for their money today?
I'm going to try if I possibly can.
Flatrad Morgan. And here's a sight. Under the bonnet is a 2-litre TR engine, and in the early 1950s they were tremendously successful as a clubman's car. They came second on the RAC Rally. It was driven by great verve last year on the Golden 50 Lombard RAC when Mike Ridley was leading at one point. How's it going with you, Mike?
Well, it's going very well indeed. We've had the usual trouble with auto test cones that seem to be magnetised to the front wheels of Morgan's. I don't seem to be able to know when to brake on the flying finishes, and if I'd learned to brake at the red board instead of the yellow board, it would be a lot better, but we're very pleased with the way it's going. We're lying, I think, third overall at the moment. And so yes, we're more.
It's got a lot less power than some of the Healeys and Lotus Cortinas. Why do you think it's been so good today?
Well, I think really on chuckability you really can throw it round the corners, and what we lose on the top end performance we make up with on cornering ability. So I think that's really what it's down to. That, and of course good ground clearance, a fairly flat underside, so you can take the yumps without tearing the exhaust system off, which Healeys were somewhat known to do.
One of the fastest drivers today has been John Chatham, who was setting a cracking pace early on, cleaning some of the stages. John, tell us something about your car. What's under the bonnet?
It's not what's under the bonnet, it's what's under the driver's right foot that matters.
Well, we've been seeing you sliding round sideways at 50 miles an hour on some of these hairpins. Are you enjoying it?
Immensely, it's great fun.
Are you surprised to be up with the Cortinas?
No, I thought we'd be first. I'm disappointed. I mean, we're lying about third at the moment. This is not good enough, is it?
You're very modest.
This one we use basically for circuit work.
You've decked it out in traditional British racing green, and of course they did very well at Le Mans, and in the early days they were a good rally car. How's it gone today?
We're very surprised and very pleased with it. It's run very well. Both cars have, for that matter. The two cars we have in it.
It's obviously been modified. What have you done to transform the handling of the car?
Basically, take all the weight off it. Fit telescopic shockers all round. Light and balance, modify the engine. Straight cut box.
How much power do you think it's got?
Well, it's about 110, 115 at the back wheels.
That's surprising, because they look really quick. We would have thought that you've got a twin cam motor under the bonnet that's doing a bit more than that.
We do run one twin cam, but we're actually getting enough power out of the push rods now, and a lot cheaper.
The car that ruled the roost in the mid-1960s was the Mini Cooper, which enjoyed a really tremendous run of success. And we have today the very last surviving Works Mini. Tell us something about the car.
Yes, well, Philip, I actually bought it early on in the year. I was surprised, really. I didn't expect to buy it. I phoned a gentleman up who was selling it, and we struck up a deal. I bought the car for £1,000, which rather surprised me. I've done nothing to it other than wash it and put some paint on it.
What's its history?
Not a lot, really. It's only basically done the 84-hour marathon de la route. It was built as a lightweight clubman, complete with 12-inch knock-on wheels.
Has it not got a very famous number plate, though? Tell us about that.
Not really.
It was the World Cup car.
We've had a bit of controversy over this. We're still not sure. One or two people say it is, and some say it isn't. So it's just one of those things.
How's it going for you today? Is it a good mini circuit?
Yeah, great. Really enjoying. Fantastic day. First time I've been to Eppynt. I'm really enjoying it. You know, it's really like it used to be, as I remember when I started about 20 years ago. It's great.
It's bought for £50, and we totally rebuilt it.
It's not a genuine rally car.
Not a genuine rally car, no. 1960, same era, but no history. Rescue from a scrapyard. 10 seconds. Rescue from a scrapyard.
Going well, is it?
Very well for an absolute bog.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
I would have spoken.